What if I told you that the heroes of ancient myths aren't just relics of the past, but living, breathing influences on the stories we tell today? From the towering courage of Hercules to the cunning wit of Odysseus, these legendary figures have shaped our understanding of bravery, sacrifice, and the human spirit for thousands of years. Their quests, fraught with danger and filled with lessons, still echo in our books, movies, and even our everyday lives. In this video, we're diving into the lives of 40 mythological heroes, each with a story that transcends time and culture. These aren't just tales of adventure, they're reflections of our deepest fears, greatest hopes, and the universal struggle to overcome the impossible. So, get ready to journey through a world where gods walk among mortals, monsters lurk in the shadows, and every hero's path is a mirror to our own. This is more than mythology. This is a celebration of the timeless power of the human spirit. Let's begin. The concept of the hero's journey is one of the most powerful frameworks for understanding mythology, and it all starts with Joseph Campbell's monomyth, a term he coined to describe the universal pattern found in countless stories across cultures. At its core, the hero's journey is a blueprint for transformation, a roadmap that takes a hero from the ordinary world into the extraordinary and back again. Think of it as a mirror reflecting our deepest fears, hopes, and desires, reminding us that every great story is, in some way, a reflection of our own potential for growth. The journey typically begins with the call to adventure, where the hero is pulled away from their familiar life and thrust into a world of challenges. For Hercules, this call came in the form of a divine mandate to complete 12 impossible labors to atone for his past mistakes. For Odysseus, it was the Trojan War that set him on a path of trials, forcing him to navigate treacherous seas and outwit mythical creatures. These stages, the call, the trials, and ultimately the return, are not just steps in a story, they're metaphors for the human experience. Each trial the hero faces represents a struggle we all encounter in life, whether it's overcoming fear, facing loss, or finding the courage to confront the unknown. What makes these stories so timeless is their ability to resonate with us on a deeply personal level. The hero's journey isn't just about mythical figures performing incredible feats. It's about the universal quest for meaning, identity, and purpose. Hercules' labors teach us about perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds, while Odysseus' long voyage home reminds us of the strength it takes to endure and adapt. These narratives don't just entertain, they inspire, offering us a glimpse of what's possible when we rise to meet our challenges. As we dive into the stories of 40 legendary heroes and their epic quests, keep this framework in mind. It's not just a way to understand their adventures, it's a lens through which we can see our own lives reflected. And speaking of adventures, our first hero's tale is one of the most iconic in all of mythology. Their journey begins with a call that would change the course of history and set the stage for a legacy that endures to this day. Hercules, the son of Zeus and a mortal woman named Alcmene, stands as one of the most legendary figures in Greek mythology. Born with immense strength and destined for greatness, his life was anything but easy. From the very beginning, Hercules faced trials that tested not just his physical power but his character as well. Despite his divine heritage, he was not immune to human flaws. His temper and impulsiveness often led him into trouble, most notably in a moment of madness when he tragically killed his own wife and children. Overwhelmed by guilt and seeking redemption, Hercules turned to the oracle of Delphi, who instructed him to serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks. These tasks, known as the 12 labors, would become the defining challenge of his life. The first labor, slaying the Nemean lion, set the tone for Hercules' journey. This monstrous beast, with its impenetrable hide, symbolized the raw courage needed to face the unknown. Hercules' victory wasn't just about brute strength. it was a lesson in ingenuity, as he used the lion's own claws to skin it and crafted its hide into an unbreakable armor. The second labor, defeating the Lernaean Hydra, tested his persistence. Every time he cut off one of the Hydra's heads, two more would grow in its place. But Hercules, with the help of his nephew Iolaus, adapted his strategy, cauterizing each wound to prevent regeneration. This labor taught him that some battles require more than sheer force, they demand resilience and adaptability. Each of the subsequent labors carried its own unique challenge and deeper meaning. Capturing the golden hind of Artemis required patience and respect for the divine, while cleaning the Orjon stables in a single day demonstrated the value of creative problem-solving. The labor of retrieving the apples of the Hesperides symbolized the pursuit of wisdom and the sacrifices that come with it. Through these trials, Hercules not only proved his strength, but also underwent a profound transformation. He evolved from a flawed, impulsive man into a disciplined and wise hero, embodying the virtues of perseverance, humility, and self-mastery. By the time Hercules completed his final labor, he had not only redeemed himself, but also earned a place among the gods. His journey from mortal suffering to divine ascension resonates deeply, reminding us that even the greatest heroes are shaped by their struggles. Hercules' story is more than just a tale of physical feats. It's a timeless exploration of human growth and the power of redemption. His legacy sets the stage for the next hero in our mythological saga, showing us how even the most broken among us can rise to greatness. After the fall of Troy, one hero's journey home became the stuff of legend, a tale so vast and perilous that it would echo through the ages. Odysseus, the wily king of Ithaca, didn't just face a long voyage. He endured a decade of trials that tested every ounce of his cunning and resolve. His story, immortalized in Homer's Odyssey, isn't just about getting home. It's about overcoming impossible odds through wit and ingenuity. Picture this, a world where the gods themselves toy with mortals, where every step forward comes with a new challenge. Odysseus navigates a labyrinth of dangers, from the blinding of the one-eyed Cyclops, Polyphemus, to resisting the enchanting songs of the sirens. Each trial forces him to think on his feet, relying not on brute strength but on his sharp mind. Take the Cyclops, for example. Trapped in the monster's cave, Odysseus doesn't panic. Instead, he devises a plan using the Cyclops' own arrogance against him. He introduces himself as nobody, ensuring that when Polyphemus cries for help, no one understands his plight. It's a masterclass in strategy, proving that brains often outmatch brawn. But Odysseus' journey isn't just about outsmarting mythical creatures. It's also a battle against divine wrath. Poseidon, the god of the sea, becomes his relentless foe after Odysseus blinds Polyphemus, the Cyclops who happens to be Poseidon's son. Every wave, every storm is a reminder of the god's fury. Yet, Odysseus persists, embodying the human spirit's resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. What makes Odysseus truly heroic isn't just his ability to survive, it's his adaptability. He's a man who learns from his mistakes, who grows wiser with each misstep. When his crew opens the bag of winds gifted by Aeolus, releasing a storm that blows them off course, Odysseus doesn't give up. He recalibrates, pushing forward despite the setback. His journey is a testament to the idea that heroism isn't just about strength or speed. It's about perseverance and the ability to think your way out of the darkest corners. Now, while Odysseus' tale is one of cunning and endurance, it's just one thread in the rich tapestry of mythological heroism. His story stands in stark contrast to the next hero we'll explore, whose journey is defined not by wit but by raw strength and unyielding determination. Together, these narratives remind us that the ancient world celebrated a wide spectrum of heroism, each tale offering its own unique lessons and inspirations. From the tales of Greek demigods and Norse warriors, we now journey to the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, where the story of Gilgamesh unfolds, a tale as old as civilization itself. Gilgamesh, the mighty king of Uruk, was no ordinary ruler. Blessed with immense strength and a restless spirit, he ruled with power but lacked purpose, until the arrival of his dearest friend Enkidu. Together, they embarked on grand adventures, slaying monsters and defying gods, forging a bond that would define them both. But when Enkidu died, struck down by divine punishment, Gilgamesh was consumed by grief and a newfound fear of death. For the first time, the invincible king faced his own mortality. Driven by despair, Gilgamesh set out on a journey unlike any other, a quest for eternal life. He traveled to the ends of the earth, crossing treacherous mountains and vast seas, seeking Utnapishtim, the only man granted immortality by the gods. When they finally met, Utnapishtim revealed the story of the Great Flood and how he earned his eternal life. But Gilgamesh's hopes were dashed when he failed a simple test, staying awake for 7 days. Exhausted, he slept through every moment, proving that even the strongest of men cannot escape the frailty of human nature. Yet Gilgamesh's journey was not in vain. Through his trials, he learned profound truths about life, death, and the legacy we leave behind. Utnapishtim offered him a plant that could restore youth, but it was stolen by a serpent, a reminder that immortality is not meant for mortals. Gilgamesh returned to Uruk not with eternal life, but with wisdom, understanding that true immortality lies in the deeds we do and the memories we create. His story, etched on ancient clay tablets, continues to resonate, exploring themes of friendship, loss, and the timeless struggle to find meaning in the face of our inevitable end. As we reflect on Gilgamesh's quest, we see a mirror of our own desires and fears, the longing to escape death and the search for purpose in a fleeting world. His epic reminds us that while we may not conquer death, we can conquer how we live. And with that, we prepare to meet another hero, one who sought not immortality but divine favor, embarking on a journey that would test their faith, courage, and place among the gods. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic tales in Greek mythology, the story of Perseus and his epic quest to slay the Gorgon Medusa. Born to Danae and Zeus, Perseus was a hero destined for greatness, but his journey was anything but straightforward. Tasked by King Polydex with bringing back the head of Medusa, a seemingly impossible mission, Perseus would need more than just strength to succeed. Enter the gods Athena and Hermes, who stepped in to guide and equip him. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, gifted Perseus a mirrored shield, while Hermes, the messenger god, provided him with winged sandals and a sickle. These divine tools weren't just gifts, they were strategic advantages designed to outsmart Medusa's deadly gaze. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden, had been cursed by Athena to become a Gorgon with snakes for hair, and a gaze so terrifying it turned anyone who looked at her to stone. But Perseus had a plan. Using the reflective surface of Athena's shield, he avoided looking directly at Medusa, instead relying on the reflection to guide his strike. With a swift, precise motion, he beheaded the Gorgon, completing his seemingly insurmountable task. But the story doesn't end there. Medusa's head, even in death, retained its petrifying power, and Perseus would go on to use it as a weapon in future battles, solidifying his role as a protector of the innocent. This tale isn't just about a hero's triumph, it's rich with symbolism. Medusa's gaze represents the paralyzing power of fear, while Perseus' use of the mirrored shield symbolizes the importance of wisdom and strategy over brute force. His victory also highlights the recurring theme of divine favor in Greek mythology, where gods and mortals often work together to overcome impossible odds. Perseus' story reminds us that even the most terrifying challenges can be conquered with courage, cleverness, and a little help from above. And speaking of terrifying challenges, our next hero faces a monstrous serpent of his own, a creature so vast and powerful it threatens the very balance of the world. But that's a tale for another moment. For now, let's marvel at Perseus, the cunning hero who turned the impossible into legend. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most enduring figures in Anglo-Saxon lore, Beowulf, a hero whose name echoes through the centuries. Beowulf's story is one of valor, loyalty, and the relentless passage of time, culminating in his final, fateful battle against a dragon. But before we dive into that climactic moment, let's revisit his earlier triumphs, which set the stage for his ultimate test. Beowulf first rose to fame by defeating Grendel, a monstrous creature terrorizing the halls of King Hrothgar. Armed with nothing but his bare hands, Beowulf demonstrated not just physical strength, but also a fearless resolve. His victory over Grendel's mother, an even more formidable foe, further cemented his reputation as a protector of his people. Yet, these early victories were more than just displays of brute force. They revealed a leader deeply committed to justice and the well-being of others. As the years passed, Beowulf's heroism evolved. He became a king, ruling his people with wisdom and compassion. But his greatest challenge awaited him in the twilight of his life, a dragon awakened by greed and rage, threatening his kingdom. Unlike his earlier battles, this one carried a profound sense of finality. Beowulf, now older and aware of his mortality, faced the dragon not just as a warrior, but as a leader determined to safeguard his people, even at the cost of his own life. This final battle is rich with themes that resonate across time. Loyalty is at the heart of Beowulf's journey as he remains steadfast in his duty to his people. Leadership shines through his willingness to confront danger head-on, inspiring those around him. And woven throughout is the inevitability of death, a reminder that even the greatest heroes are not immortal. Beowulf's story ends in tragedy, but his legacy endures, a testament to the timeless ideals of courage and sacrifice. As we reflect on Beowulf's journey, we're reminded that heroism isn't just about strength or victory. It's about how we face the challenges that define us. And with that in mind, let's shift our focus to another hero whose quest for redemption offers a different perspective on what it means to rise above adversity. Deep within the winding corridors of myth and legend, we find Theseus, the hero of Athens, facing one of the most iconic challenges in all of mythology, the labyrinth. This wasn't just any maze. It was a monstrous creation designed by the master craftsman Daedalus, a place so intricate that once you entered, escape seemed impossible. But Theseus wasn't just any man. He was the son of Aegeus, king of Athens, and he carried the weight of his city's fate on his shoulders. Every year, Athens was forced to send 7 young men and 7 young women to Crete as tribute to King Minos, where they would be thrown into the labyrinth and devoured by the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull creature born of unnatural origins. Theseus couldn't stand by and let this continue. Determined to end the cycle of terror, he volunteered to be one of the tributes, vowing to slay the beast and free his people. But how does one conquer a maze designed to be inescapable? Enter Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos, who fell in love with Theseus and offered him a lifeline, a simple ball of thread. This thread, often called Ariadne's thread, became Theseus's guiding light, allowing him to navigate the labyrinth's twisting paths without losing his way. As he ventured deeper, the shadows grew darker, the air heavier, and the sounds of the Minotaur's snarls grew louder. The labyrinth wasn't just a physical challenge, it was a psychological one, testing Theseus's courage and resolve. When he finally confronted the Minotaur, the battle was fierce and primal. The beast, a symbol of chaos and savagery, lunged at Theseus with terrifying force. But Theseus, armed with his sword and the strength of his purpose, fought back with equal ferocity. The clash wasn't just a fight for survival. It was a battle between order and chaos, civilization and monstrosity. Theseus emerged victorious, slaying the Minotaur and using Ariadne's thread to retrace his steps out of the labyrinth. His triumph wasn't just a personal victory, it was a unifying moment for Athens, liberating the city from its oppressive tribute and cementing Theseus as a symbol of heroism and leadership. The labyrinth itself holds deeper meaning beyond its physical form. It's often seen as a metaphor for life's challenges, complex, confusing, and filled with uncertainty. Just as Theseus relied on Ariadne's thread to guide him, we, too, must find our own tools and allies to navigate the twists and turns of our journeys. The story reminds us that even in the darkest, most bewildering moments, there's always a way forward if we stay determined and resourceful. And speaking of journeys, our next hero's story takes a darker turn, one marked by divine parentage and a tragic fate. But more on that soon, because in the world of mythology, even the brightest victories are often shadowed by deeper, more complex tales. Achilles, the legendary Greek hero of the Trojan War, is a figure whose name resonates with both power and tragedy. Known as the greatest warrior of his time, his story is one of invincibility, rage, and a fatal flaw that would ultimately seal his fate. Born to the sea nymph Thetis and the mortal king Peleus, Achilles was destined for greatness, but also for a short, brilliant life. His mother, desperate to protect him, dipped him in the river Styx, rendering him invulnerable everywhere except for the heel by which she held him. This single vulnerability would become his undoing, a poignant reminder that even the mightiest are not without weakness. Achilles' defining trait was his unparalleled skill in battle, matched only by his tempestuous emotions. When Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, insulted him by taking away his war prize, the captive Briseis, Achilles withdrew from the fight. His rage was not just personal, it was a clash of pride and honor, values deeply ingrained in the warrior culture of ancient Greece. This decision to step away from the battlefield had devastating consequences for the Greek army, but it also underscored the cost of ego and the fragile nature of alliances. Yet, when his closest companion, Patroclus, was slain by the Trojan prince Hector, Achilles' grief and fury reignited. He returned to the war, not for glory or Agamemnon, but for vengeance. In his final act of heroism, Achilles faced Hector in a duel that would become one of the most iconic moments in mythological history. He emerged victorious, but his triumph was bittersweet. The themes of honor and glory, so central to Achilles' identity, were tainted by the knowledge that his own death was foretold. Despite his invulnerability, he could not escape the prophecy. Paris, guided by the god Apollo, struck Achilles in his one vulnerable spot, his heel, with a poisoned arrow. Thus, the greatest warrior of the Trojan War met his end, not in a blaze of glory, but through a single fatal weakness. Achilles' story is a profound exploration of the human condition. It asks us to consider the cost of war, the fleeting nature of glory, and the price of unchecked rage. His life, though short, left an indelible mark on the world, reminding us that even the strongest among us are not immune to fate. As we reflect on Achilles' legacy, we turn to another hero whose journey was defined not by rage, but by a relentless pursuit of justice, a quest that would challenge the very fabric of divine and mortal law. Rama, the noble prince of India, stands as one of the most revered figures in Hindu mythology, embodying the ideals of Dharma, or righteous duty. His story, immortalized in the epic Ramayana, is a tale of sacrifice, courage, and unwavering loyalty. When Rama was exiled from his kingdom for 14 years due to a promise made by his father, he accepted his fate without hesitation, setting an example of humility and respect for one's word. Accompanied by his devoted wife, Sita, and his loyal brother, Lakshmana, Rama faced the challenges of the wilderness with grace and determination. But his greatest trial came when Sita was abducted by the demon king Ravana, ruler of Lanka. Ravana, a being of immense power and cunning, sought to claim Sita for himself, setting the stage for an epic battle between good and evil. Rama, undeterred by the seemingly insurmountable odds, forged an alliance with Hanuman, the mighty monkey god and a symbol of devotion and strength. Together, they rallied an army of allies, crossing oceans and facing countless dangers to reach Lanka. The battle against Ravana was not merely a physical struggle, but a moral one as well. Rama's commitment to Dharma guided his every action, even as he confronted the complexities of love, loss, and vengeance. His victory over Ravana was a triumph of righteousness, restoring balance and justice to the world. Yet, the story of Rama and Sita also explores deeper themes: loyalty tested by adversity, the weight of duty, and the enduring power of love. As we reflect on Rama's journey, it's impossible not to admire the timeless lessons woven into his tale. But the world of mythology holds even more extraordinary feats, and our next hero's quest takes us to a place far darker and more mysterious: the underworld. There, another legendary figure will face challenges that test not only his strength, but his very understanding of life and death. The story of Orpheus and Eurydice is one of the most heart-wrenching tales in mythology, a testament to the power of love and the crushing weight of human error. Orpheus, a musician of unparalleled skill, could charm not only mortals and gods, but even the rocks and trees with his lyre. His music was so enchanting that it seemed to hold the very fabric of the world together. But when his beloved wife, Eurydice, died tragically from a snakebite, Orpheus's grief knew no bounds. Refusing to accept her fate, he made the unthinkable decision to descend into the underworld, a realm from which no mortal was meant to return. Armed only with his music, he crossed the river Styx and faced Hades himself, pleading for Eurydice's return. Orpheus's music moved even the cold hearts of the underworld's rulers. Hades and Persephone, touched by his sorrow, agreed to release Eurydice, but on one condition: Orpheus must lead her back to the world of the living without looking at her until they had both reached the surface. It seemed simple enough, but the journey was fraught with tension. Step by step, Orpheus climbed, his heart pounding with hope and fear. Could he trust that Eurydice was truly behind him? The silence of the underworld was deafening, and doubt began to creep in. Just as they neared the light, Orpheus faltered. He turned, desperate to see her one last time. And in that moment, Eurydice was lost to him forever, vanishing back into the shadows of the underworld. This story is more than just a tale of tragic love. It's a meditation on the limits of human will and the consequences of doubt. Orpheus's fatal mistake wasn't just a lapse in judgment. It was a reminder that even the most determined among us are bound by our vulnerabilities. His story also explores the fragility of trust, both in the divine and in oneself. The themes of love and loss resonate deeply, reminding us that even the greatest acts of devotion can be undone by a single moment of weakness. But Orpheus's journey doesn't end with his failure. His grief transformed him, and his music became a reflection of his sorrow, a legacy that would echo through the ages. His tale sets the stage for the next hero we'll explore, one whose story is driven not by love but by vengeance. A hero who, like Orpheus, would confront unimaginable challenges, but with a very different purpose. Stay with us as we dive into the quest of a figure who sought not to retrieve what was lost, but to avenge what had been taken. Jason's quest for the Golden Fleece is one of the most thrilling adventures in Greek mythology, a tale of ambition, peril, and the power of teamwork. Tasked by his uncle, King Peleus, with retrieving the legendary Golden Fleece to claim his rightful throne, Jason gathers a band of heroes known as the Argonauts. Together, they embark on a journey filled with unimaginable dangers, each challenge testing their unity and resolve. One of the first major obstacles they face is the clashing rocks, also known as the Symplegades. These massive stone cliffs crash together with crushing force, destroying any ship that attempts to pass. To survive, Jason must rely on the wisdom of Phineus, a blind prophet, who advises him to release a dove to time the rock's movements. With precise timing and the Argonauts' collective effort, they navigate through unscathed, a testament to their courage and coordination. But the greatest trial awaits in Colchis, where the golden fleece is guarded by a sleepless dragon. To overcome this, Jason turns to Medea, the sorceress and daughter of King Aeetes. Medea's help comes at a cost. Her loyalty shifts to Jason, and she betrays her own family to aid him. Her magic puts the dragon to sleep, allowing Jason to seize the fleece. Yet, this act of betrayal casts a shadow over their victory, hinting at the moral complexities of ambition and the sacrifices made in its pursuit. The story of Jason and the Golden Fleece isn't just about a hero's triumph. It's a reflection on the bonds of teamwork, the consequences of betrayal, and the relentless drive to achieve one's goals. Jason's journey reminds us that even the most ambitious quests are rarely accomplished alone, and that success often comes with a price. As we prepare to dive into the next hero's tale, we'll encounter a figure whose trials are not just physical but deeply spiritual, as they face the ultimate test of divine favor and mortal endurance. Thor, the mighty Norse god of thunder, is one of mythology's most iconic figures, embodying raw power and a relentless drive to protect the realms of gods and humans alike. Known for wielding his legendary hammer, Mjolnir, Thor's adventures are steeped in themes of strength, courage, and the eternal struggle against chaos. But his story isn't just about brute force. It's also a tale of humility and learning, as he often finds himself humbled by the challenges he faces. One of Thor's most famous exploits begins with the theft of Mjolnir by the giants, who demand the goddess Freyja as ransom in exchange for its return. Disguised as Freyja, Thor infiltrates their stronghold, using his cunning alongside his strength to reclaim his hammer. This quest highlights not only his physical prowess, but also his willingness to adapt and overcome, even when faced with ridicule or deception. Another defining moment in Thor's saga is his journey to Utgard, the realm of the giants. Accompanied by his companions Loki and Thialfi, Thor encounters a series of seemingly impossible challenges. From wrestling an old woman who turns out to be the embodiment of old age, to attempting to drain a drinking horn connected to the ocean, Thor's failures in Utgard serve as a humbling reminder that even the mightiest can be outmatched. These trials underscore the Norse belief in the unpredictability of the universe and the importance of humility in the face of forces greater than oneself. Through these adventures, Thor's battles against the giants symbolize the ongoing struggle between order and chaos, a central theme in Norse mythology. The giants represent the untamed, destructive forces of nature, while Thor stands as the protector of Asgard and Midgard, striving to maintain balance. Yet, his journey also teaches us that strength alone isn't enough. Wisdom and humility are equally vital in overcoming life's greatest challenges. This brings us to our next hero, whose quest is defined not by physical might, but by the pursuit of wisdom. In the following section, we'll explore how this hero's journey unfolds, revealing the profound lessons that come from seeking knowledge and understanding in a world filled with mystery and danger. The tale of Sigurd is one of courage, betrayal, and the heavy weight of destiny, a story that echoes through the annals of Norse mythology. Sigurd, a hero of unparalleled strength and valor, is perhaps best known for his fateful encounter with the dragon Fafnir. But this wasn't just any dragon. Fafnir was once a man, a dwarf king consumed by greed after seizing a cursed treasure hoard. This treasure, originally belonging to the gods, carried a dark fate for anyone who claimed it. Sigurd, guided by the wise smith Reginn, set out to slay Fafnir, not just to prove his heroism, but to claim the treasure for himself. Using a sword forged by Reginn, Sigurd struck down the dragon, bathing in its blood to gain invincibility, or so he thought. But as with many great myths, victory came with a price. The cursed treasure brought with it a web of betrayal and tragedy. Regin, Sigurd's mentor, sought to kill him to claim the treasure for himself, but Sigurd, ever the cunning hero, struck first. Yet, even this act of survival couldn't save him from the treasure's curse. Sigurd's fate became intertwined with the treasure, leading to his eventual betrayal by those closest to him. His story is a stark reminder of the destructive power of greed and the inescapable nature of destiny. It asks us to consider, can even the greatest hero escape the consequences of their actions? Sigurd's tale isn't just about slaying a dragon, it's a deeper exploration of human flaws and the choices that shape our lives. It's a story that resonates across time, reminding us that even the mightiest heroes are not immune to the frailties of the human heart. And as we move forward, we'll meet another hero, one whose story is tied not to mortal struggles, but to the divine. A figure whose lineage reaches the heavens and whose quests are guided by the will of the gods themselves. The tale of Chulainn, the Hound of Ulster, is one of the most gripping sagas in Irish mythology, filled with raw power, unyielding loyalty, and heartbreaking tragedy. At the heart of his legend lies the epic cattle raid of Chulainn, a conflict that tested not only his strength but also the very soul of Ulster. Picture this, a young warrior, barely out of boyhood, standing alone against an entire army. Chulainn's story begins with his extraordinary upbringing. Trained by the warrior woman Scathach, he mastered combat skills that made him nearly invincible. But it was his ferocious battle frenzy, known as the Ryostrad, that truly set him apart. When the fury took hold, his body would twist and transform into something otherworldly, a force of nature that struck terror into his enemies. The cattle raid of Chulainn, however, wasn't just about brute strength. It was a test of honor and loyalty. When Queen Medb of Connacht sought to steal the prized brown bull of Chulainn, Ulster's warriors were struck by a curse, leaving Chulainn as their sole defender. For days, he fought off Medb's forces single-handedly, using cunning tactics and unmatched skill. But his greatest challenge came when he faced his foster brother Ferdiad in combat. Bound by deep friendship yet divided by duty, their duel was a heart-wrenching clash of love and loyalty. Chulainn emerged victorious, but the emotional toll was immense. Yet, as with many heroes, Chulainn's story ends in tragedy. His relentless sense of duty and honor ultimately led to his downfall. Tricked by his enemies and weakened by his own wounds, he tied himself to a standing stone so he could face death on his feet, a final act of defiance. Even in his last moments, he remained a symbol of unwavering courage. Chulainn's tale reminds us that heroism often comes at a great cost, a theme echoed in myths across the world. As we reflect on Chulainn's sacrifices, we're reminded of another hero who also sought to defy death, but in a very different way. Gilgamesh, the legendary king of Uruk, embarked on a quest not just for glory, but for the secret to eternal life. His journey takes us beyond the battlefield into the realm of immortality itself. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic figures in Chinese mythology, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. This mischievous yet fiercely powerful being is the heart of the epic tale Journey to the West, a story that has captivated audiences for centuries. Born from a magical stone and gifted with incredible strength, agility, and the ability to transform, Sun Wukong quickly rose to fame, or infamy, as a rebel who challenged the heavens themselves. His audacity knew no bounds. He seized the title of Great Sage equal to heaven, stole the peaches of immortality, and even defied the Jade Emperor, the ruler of the celestial realm. But his defiance came at a cost. The heavens, tired of his antics, subdued him with the help of the Buddha, who trapped him under a mountain for 500 years. Yet, Sun Wukong's story doesn't end there. His imprisonment became the catalyst for his transformation. when the monk Xuanzang embarked on a perilous journey to retrieve sacred Buddhist scriptures, Sun Wukong was granted a chance at redemption. Released from his prison, he became Xuanzang's protector, using his immense power not for chaos, but to safeguard his master from demons, spirits, and countless dangers along the way. This journey wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. Sun Wukong's path from rebellious trickster to enlightened guardian mirrors themes of self-discovery and growth. His tale reminds us that even the most unruly spirits can find purpose and redemption through perseverance and humility. The journey to the West is more than just an adventure. It's a profound exploration of rebellion, enlightenment, and transformation. Sun Wukong's evolution from a defiant figure to a loyal protector underscores the idea that true strength lies not in power alone, but in the wisdom to wield it responsibly. His story resonates across cultures, offering timeless lessons about the balance between ambition and humility, chaos and order. And as we leave the Monkey King behind, we prepare to meet another hero whose divine mission will take us to the heart of ancient myth and the struggle between destiny and duty. The battlefield of Kurukshetra was not just a clash of armies, it was a crucible of conscience for Arjuna, one of the greatest warriors in the Mahabharata. As he stood between the two armies, his bow Gandiva in hand, Arjuna faced a crisis that went beyond swords and arrows. Here, amidst the chaos of war, he grappled with a question that has echoed through the ages. What is the right thing to do when duty demands the unthinkable? Arjuna's dilemma was deeply personal. On one side stood his enemies, yes, but among them were also his teachers, his family, and his friends. How could he raise his weapon against those he loved? Overwhelmed by doubt and sorrow, he turned to his charioteer, Krishna, who was no ordinary companion. Krishna, an incarnation of the divine, became Arjuna's guide in this moment of crisis. What followed was one of the most profound conversations in human history, immortalized in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna didn't immediately offer comfort or easy answers. Instead, he challenged Arjuna to reflect on his Dharma, his sacred duty. As a warrior, Arjuna's Dharma was to fight for justice, even when the cost was heavy. Krishna explained that true righteousness isn't about avoiding pain or clinging to attachments. It's about fulfilling one's role in the larger order of the universe, even when it's difficult. This wasn't just a lesson about war, it was a teaching about life itself. The Bhagavad Gita delves into themes that resonate far beyond the battlefield. It explores the nature of self-realization, the importance of detachment, and the balance between action and intention. Krishna urges Arjuna to act without being consumed by the fruits of his actions, a principle that has inspired countless seekers of wisdom. Through their dialogue, Arjuna learns to see beyond his immediate fears and doubts, finding clarity in his purpose. This moment on the battlefield isn't just a story about Arjuna, it's a mirror for all of us. How often do we face situations where doing the right thing feels impossible? The Gita reminds us that duty and righteousness are not always comfortable, but they are essential. Arjuna's journey from doubt to resolution is a testament to the power of self-reflection and guidance. And just as Arjuna found his path through the wisdom of Krishna, another hero rises to face a different kind of challenge, one rooted in justice and the pursuit of truth. His story, too, begins with a question: what does it mean to fight for what is right when the odds are stacked against you? But that's a tale for another moment. Now, let's turn our attention to a hero whose story is as miraculous as it is transformative. Emwindo, the central figure of Nyanga mythology. Born under extraordinary circumstances, Emwindo's tale begins with his father, Shimwindo, a tyrannical chief who decreed that no son of his should ever inherit his throne. Determined to prevent this, Shimwindo ordered that any male child born to his wives be killed, but destiny had other plans. Emwindo was born not through natural means, but from his mother's thumb, a miraculous event that defied his father's cruel edict. From the moment of his birth, Emwindo was marked by fate, wielding a magical scepter and possessing the ability to speak and walk immediately, a clear sign that he was no ordinary child. As Emwindo grew, his path was set on a collision course with his father's tyranny. His father's refusal to acknowledge him as heir led to a series of epic confrontations. Emwindo's magical scepter became both a weapon and a symbol of his divine purpose, allowing him to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. But this wasn't just a story of rebellion, it was a journey of reconciliation. Emwindo's battles weren't fueled by vengeance, but by a deeper quest to restore balance and justice. Each confrontation with his father peeled back layers of pride and resentment, revealing the possibility of healing and unity. One of the most striking chapters in Emwindo's journey is his descent into the underworld, a realm of darkness and mystery. Here, he faced trials that tested not only his strength, but also his wisdom and compassion. The underworld wasn't just a physical place. It represented the depths of the human soul, where fears, regrets, and unresolved conflicts dwell. Emwindo's ability to navigate this realm and emerge victorious symbolized his mastery over both external and internal challenges. His journey underscored the theme of destiny, how even the most daunting obstacles can be overcome when one is aligned with a higher purpose. Emwindo's story is deeply rooted in the idea of balance between power and humility, conflict and resolution, the mortal and the divine. His eventual reconciliation with his father wasn't a surrender but a transformation, showing that true strength lies in the ability to heal and forgive. This balance of power resonates across cultures, reminding us that even the fiercest battles can lead to harmony if approached with wisdom and a sense of purpose. As we leave Emwindo's cosmic journey behind, we prepare to explore another hero whose trials are no less divine. But for now, let's reflect on the lessons Emwindo teaches us about the inevitability of destiny, the courage to face the unknown, and the power of reconciliation to transform even the most fractured relationships. His story is a testament to the enduring belief that no matter how dark the path, light and balance are always within reach. Now, let's journey to the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where the waves whisper tales of Maui, the legendary Polynesian demigod. Known for his cunning wit and extraordinary strength, Maui is a figure who embodies both mischief and heroism. His stories are not just about personal glory, but also about the profound connection between humanity and the natural world. One of his most famous exploits is the tale of how he fished up islands from the ocean floor, creating land for his people to thrive. According to the legends, Maui set out on a daring mission one day, using a magical fishhook crafted from the jawbone of his grandmother. With this tool, he ventured into the deep, casting his line far beneath the waves. What he pulled up wasn't just a fish, it was entire islands rising from the sea to form new homes for his community. This act wasn't just a display of strength, it was a testament to Maui's ingenuity and his deep sense of responsibility toward others. He didn't work for his own benefit but for the collective good, ensuring his people had a place to live and prosper. But Maui's adventures didn't stop there. Another well-known tale tells of how he slowed the sun itself. Frustrated by the days being too short for his people to accomplish their tasks, Maui crafted ropes from his sister's hair and used them to lasso the sun. He forced it to move more slowly across the sky, giving humanity longer days to work, fish, and gather. This story highlights themes of perseverance and the desire to improve life for those around him, showcasing Maui as more than just a trickster. He was a protector and a problem solver. These myths reveal a deeper layer of Polynesian culture, emphasizing the importance of community, resourcefulness, and harmony with nature. Maui's actions reflect a world where humans are not separate from the natural world, but deeply intertwined with it. His stories remind us that even the most extraordinary feats are often rooted in the desire to care for others and to live in balance with the environment. As we reflect on Maui's legacy, we see a hero whose strength lies not only in his abilities but in his heart. His tales inspire us to think creatively, to act with purpose, and to remember that our greatest achievements often come from serving others. And with that, we turn our gaze to a new hero, one whose quest for redemption will take us on a journey through trials, transformation, and the power of second chances. Long before Camelot's golden spires pierced the heavens, a young Arthur pulled the sword Excalibur from the stone, claiming his destiny as the once and future king. But his reign wasn't just about uniting a fractured land. It was a journey of ideals, of forging a brotherhood bound by honor and a shared pursuit of the sacred. Enter the Holy Grail, the ultimate symbol of divine grace and unattainable perfection. This wasn't just a cup or a relic. It was a test of character, a beacon calling Arthur and his knights to transcend their mortal limits. At the heart of this quest was the Round Table, a revolutionary idea in a world of hierarchy. Here, no knight sat above another, symbolizing equality and unity. But unity alone wasn't enough. Each knight faced their own moral crucible: Sir Lancelot's forbidden love, Sir Gawain's pride, and Sir Percival's innocence tested by temptation. These weren't just stories of adventure. They were mirrors reflecting the struggles of the human soul. Chivalry wasn't just about bravery in battle. It was about the courage to confront one's flaws and the willingness to sacrifice personal desires for a greater good. The Grail itself was elusive, not because it was hidden, but because it demanded purity of heart. Only the worthy could find it, and even then, it wasn't about possession. It was about transformation. The knights who sought it weren't just chasing a relic. They were searching for meaning, for a connection to the divine that would elevate their lives beyond the mundane. This quest, though often fraught with failure, became a testament to the enduring human yearning for something greater than ourselves. As we leave the misty hills of Camelot behind, we're reminded that the search for the divine isn't confined to one kingdom or one legend. It's a universal thread woven through countless myths, and next, we'll meet a hero whose very birth was marked by the heavens themselves. His story carries the weight of divine lineage, and his journey is one of destiny, duty, and the unbreakable bond between mortals and gods. Lancelot, often hailed as the greatest knight of the Round Table, embodies the very essence of chivalry and valor. Yet his story is one of profound complexity. Known for his unmatched skill in battle and unwavering dedication to King Arthur, Lancelot's legacy is as much about his triumphs as it is about his struggles. His tale is a poignant exploration of loyalty, love, and the fragile nature of honor in the face of human imperfection. At the heart of Lancelot's journey lies his deep, forbidden love for Queen Guinevere, Arthur's wife. This love, while pure in its passion, becomes the catalyst for his greatest moral conflict. Torn between his devotion to Arthur, his king and closest friend, and his undeniable feelings for Guinevere, Lancelot grapples with the weight of betrayal. It's here that we see the duality of human nature, how even the noblest of hearts can falter under the pressures of desire and duty. Lancelot's internal battle mirrors the external challenges he faces. His quest for honor isn't just about proving his worth on the battlefield. It's a deeply personal journey toward redemption. After his affair with Guinevere is exposed, Lancelot is consumed by guilt. He withdraws from Camelot, seeking solitude and penance. Yet, even in his self-imposed exile, his actions speak to his enduring sense of duty. He continues to fight for the innocent, to protect the weak, and to uphold the ideals of knighthood, even as he wrestles with his own flaws. The themes of loyalty and love are central to Lancelot's story, but so too is the idea of forgiveness both from others and from oneself. His journey reminds us that honor isn't about perfection. It's about the courage to confront our mistakes and strive to be better. Lancelot's legacy is one of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of redemption in the face of human frailty. As we reflect on Lancelot's quest for honor, we're reminded of the delicate balance between our ideals and our imperfections. His story sets the stage for another hero's struggle, one who faces not the chaos within, but the chaos of the world itself. This next tale takes us into the heart of a battle against forces that threaten to unravel the very fabric of order and justice. From the shadowy forests of Norse sagas emerges Siegfried, a hero whose story intertwines with both triumph and tragedy. At the heart of his tale lies the cursed ring of the Nibelung, a symbol of power that promises greatness but delivers ruin. Siegfried's journey begins with an act of unparalleled bravery, the slaying of the dragon Fafnir. This monstrous creature, once a man consumed by greed, guards a hoard of treasure, including the infamous ring. Armed with nothing but courage and a sword reforged from the shards of his father's blade, Siegfried confronts the beast, bathing in its blood to become invulnerable, or so the legend goes. But invincibility, as Siegfried soon learns, is no shield against the treachery of men. The cursed ring, forged by the dwarves and tainted by a curse of its own, becomes both a source of Siegfried's power and the seed of his downfall. It grants him unmatched strength and influence, but it also attracts envy and betrayal. His closest allies, including the scheming Hagen, plot against him, leading to his untimely death. Even the love of the Valkyrie Brunhilde cannot save him from the web of fate. The ring, a symbol of ultimate power, becomes a reminder of the fragility of human ambition. Through Siegfried's story, we see the timeless themes of power and its corrupting influence, the inevitability of destiny, and the tragic cost of betrayal. His tale is not just one of heroic deeds, but also a cautionary reminder that even the greatest among us are not immune to the darker forces of greed and deceit. As we reflect on Siegfried's legacy, we turn our gaze to another hero, one whose trials are not bound by mortal limits but shaped by the whims of the divine. What awaits them is a test of faith, endurance, and the very essence of what it means to be a hero. In the rich tapestry of Persian mythology, few figures shine as brightly as Rostam, the legendary hero of the Shahnameh or the Book of Kings. Known for his unmatched strength, unwavering courage, and deep sense of loyalty, Rostam's story is a cornerstone of Persian epic tradition. But his journey to greatness was anything but easy. It was marked by the Seven Labors, a series of near-impossible trials that tested not only his physical prowess, but also his moral character and devotion to his people. The first of these labors began when Rostam's beloved horse, Raksh, was stolen. Determined to reclaim his loyal companion, Rostam embarked on a perilous journey that led him through treacherous landscapes and into the heart of danger. Along the way, he faced monstrous creatures, cunning foes, and the ever-present threat of betrayal. But perhaps his most famous challenge was his confrontation with the White Demon, a fearsome creature that embodied the darkest aspects of evil. This epic battle wasn't just a test of strength. It was a clash of wills, a fight between light and shadow. Rostam's victory over the demon symbolized the triumph of good over evil, a recurring theme in his adventures. Yet, Rostam's labors weren't just about physical combat. Each trial revealed deeper layers of his character. His humility in the face of arrogance, his compassion for the downtrodden, and his unyielding loyalty to his kingdom and family. These qualities made him more than just a warrior. He became a symbol of hope and resilience, a hero who embodied the ideals of his culture. The Seven Labors also serve as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices required to uphold justice and protect the innocent. They highlight the universal struggle against adversity, a theme that resonates across time and cultures. Rostam's story isn't just a tale of ancient Persia. It's a timeless narrative about the enduring power of heroism and the human spirit's capacity to overcome even the greatest challenges. As we reflect on Rostam's extraordinary journey, we turn our attention to another hero, one whose quest was not defined by battles or physical trials, but by a search for something far more profound: enlightenment. In the next chapter of our exploration, we'll delve into the story of a mythical figure whose path led not to the battlefield, but to the heart of wisdom itself. Stay with us as we uncover the tale of a hero who sought to illuminate the world through knowledge and understanding. Now, let's turn our attention to Hanuman, one of the most beloved figures in Hindu mythology and a central character in the epic Ramayana. Hanuman's story is a testament to the extraordinary power of devotion and unwavering loyalty. When Rama's wife, Sita, is abducted by the demon king Ravana, Hanuman steps forward to play a pivotal role in a rescue. His journey to Lanka, Ravana's island fortress, is not just a physical quest, but a profound spiritual odyssey that embodies the themes of service, faith, and relentless determination. Hanuman's strength is legendary. He's often depicted as a being of immense power, capable of leaping across oceans and carrying entire mountains. But what truly sets him apart is his cleverness and resourcefulness. When he arrives in Lanka, he doesn't rely solely on brute force. Instead, he uses his wits to navigate the treacherous terrain, disguising himself to avoid detection and gathering crucial information about Sita's whereabouts. This blend of strength and intelligence makes Hanuman not just a warrior but a strategist, showcasing how wisdom and courage can work hand in hand. At the heart of Hanuman's journey is his unwavering devotion to Rama. His loyalty isn't blind, it's rooted in a deep understanding of righteousness and duty. When he finally finds Sita imprisoned in a grove of Ashoka trees, his compassion shines through. He reassures her of Rama's love and steadfastness, delivering the message that help is on the way. This moment highlights Hanuman's role as a bridge between Rama and Sita, a divine messenger who carries hope in the darkest of times. The themes of loyalty and service in Hanuman's story are universal. His actions remind us that true strength lies not just in physical prowess, but in the ability to serve a cause greater than oneself. His faith in Rama and his mission is unshakable, even in the face of overwhelming odds. This unwavering belief becomes a source of inspiration, showing how faith can move mountains quite literally in Hanuman's case. As we reflect on Hanuman's epic quest, we're reminded of the power of devotion and the impact one individual can have when driven by purpose. His journey to Lanka is more than a myth. It's a timeless lesson in perseverance, humility, and the transformative power of faith. And speaking of transformative journeys, our next hero's divine mission will take us to another corner of the mythological world, where a different kind of strength and sacrifice awaits. Among the many heroes of mythology, Krishna stands out not just as a warrior or a king, but as a divine guide whose wisdom transcends time. At the heart of the Mahabharata, one of the greatest epics ever written, Krishna plays a pivotal role, shaping the destiny of heroes and the course of history itself. His most profound moment comes during the Kurukshetra War, where he serves as the charioteer and spiritual guide to Arjuna, one of the Pandava brothers. On the battlefield, as Arjuna is overwhelmed by doubt and moral conflict, Krishna delivers the Bhagavad Gita, a timeless discourse on duty, righteousness, and the nature of existence. Here, Krishna reveals that true duty lies not in avoiding conflict, but in fulfilling one's responsibilities without attachment to the results. His teachings challenge Arjuna, and all of us, to rise above fear and hesitation, to act with clarity and purpose in the face of life's greatest challenges. Krishna's role in the Mahabharata goes far beyond his words. His divine interventions often tip the scales of the war in favor of the Pandavas, but they also serve a higher purpose, to restore Dharma or cosmic order. Whether it's his strategic advice to Yudhishthira or his miraculous protection of Draupadi, Krishna's actions are always rooted in justice and righteousness. Yet he is no ordinary hero. As an incarnation of Vishnu, Krishna embodies the divine itself, weaving together the threads of fate with a blend of humor, cunning, and profound insight. His presence reminds us that the divine is not distant or detached, but intimately involved in the struggles of the world. The themes Krishna embodies, duty, righteousness, and the balance between action and detachment, resonate deeply even today. His story is not just about a war or a kingdom, but about the eternal struggle between right and wrong, and the courage it takes to uphold what is just. As we reflect on Krishna's role in the Mahabharata, we begin to see how his lessons transcend the epic, offering guidance for our own lives. And it's this universal appeal that sets the stage for the next hero, whose quest for justice and truth will echo Krishna's teachings in a new and compelling way. Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky, stands as one of Egyptian mythology's most iconic figures, a symbol of divine kingship and the unyielding fight for justice. His story is one of vengeance, resilience, and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Born to Isis and Osiris, Horus was destined to avenge his father's murder at the hands of his treacherous uncle, Set. This tale isn't just about a cosmic battle, it's a profound exploration of justice, rightful succession, and the enduring triumph of light over darkness. The conflict between Horus and Set began with a betrayal that shattered the divine order. Set, consumed by jealousy and ambition, had killed Osiris, dismembered his body, and scattered the pieces across Egypt. But Isis, through her unwavering devotion, reassembled Osiris and briefly restored him to life, allowing her to conceive Horus. From the moment of his birth, Horus was marked as the rightful heir to his father's throne, but Set wasn't about to relinquish power without a fight. What followed was a series of epic battles, both physical and symbolic, that would determine the fate of Egypt itself. Their clashes were legendary. In one confrontation, Horus lost an eye, which became a powerful symbol of sacrifice and healing. Set, too, suffered grievous wounds, but neither god could claim total victory. The battles weren't just tests of strength. They were trials of wit and strategy, with both deities employing cunning and magic to outmaneuver the other. Eventually, the gods intervened, convening a divine tribunal to settle the dispute. After decades of conflict, Horus emerged victorious, reclaiming his father's throne and restoring Ma'at, the sacred order of the universe. This myth resonates deeply with themes of justice and rightful succession. Horus's victory wasn't just personal, it was a restoration of balance, ensuring that Egypt would thrive under a ruler chosen by the gods. The tale also highlights the cyclical nature of life and death, as Horus's triumph mirrors Osiris's resurrection, symbolizing the eternal renewal of creation. And while Set is often portrayed as a villain, his role as a necessary force of chaos adds complexity to the story, reminding us that even darkness has its place in the cosmic order. But the journey of Horus doesn't end here. His trials set the stage for the next hero's divine challenges, where the stakes are just as high and the battles even more extraordinary. In the rich tapestry of Mesoamerican mythology, few figures stand as tall as Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god. Revered by the Aztecs, Toltecs, and other ancient cultures, Quetzalcoatl wasn't just a deity of wind and wisdom. He was a creator, a teacher, and in many ways a symbol of rebirth. His story begins with the creation of humanity, a tale steeped in sacrifice and divine ingenuity. According to legend, the world had been destroyed multiple times, each era ending in catastrophe. The gods, determined to create a new race of humans, needed a way to bring life into the barren world. Quetzalcoatl, along with his twin brother Xalotl, embarked on a perilous journey to the underworld known as Mictlan. Their mission, to retrieve the bones of the previous humans, which held the essence needed to create a new generation. It wasn't an easy task. Mictlan's ruler, Mictlantecuhtli, was reluctant to part with the bones, forcing Quetzalcoatl to outwit him through cunning and perseverance. But creation came at a cost. As Quetzalcoatl carried the bones back to the surface, he stumbled, spilling some of them. This mishap, though seemingly small, carried profound meaning. It explained why humans would be imperfect, varied in size and strength. To breathe life into the bones, Quetzalcoatl pierced his own flesh, offering his blood as the ultimate sacrifice. This act not only brought humanity into existence, but also cemented his role as a god deeply connected to the cycles of life, death, and renewal. Yet, Quetzalcoatl's story doesn't end with creation. His downfall, marked by deception and exile, adds layers of complexity to his character. Tricked by his rival Tezcatlipoca, Quetzalcoatl was driven from his kingdom, forced to wander until he eventually set himself aflame and ascended to the heavens. Some versions of the myth suggest he promised to return one day, a prophecy that would later intertwine with the arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the Americas. Themes of creation, sacrifice, and the cyclical nature of time are woven throughout Quetzalcoatl's tale. His journey reflects the belief that destruction and rebirth are part of a greater cosmic order, a reminder that even gods are not immune to the forces of fate. And as we turn to the next hero, a figure driven by a quest for redemption, we'll see how these themes continue to resonate across myths and cultures. In Native American mythology, few figures capture the imagination quite like Coyote, the ultimate trickster hero. Known for his cleverness and boundless mischief, Coyote is a shapeshifter, a boundary crosser, and at times a reluctant savior. One of his most celebrated exploits revolves around his daring theft of fire, a gift he brings to humanity despite the odds stacked against him. According to legend, fire was guarded jealously by the gods, who believed it was too powerful for mortals to wield. But Coyote, ever the opportunist, saw this as a challenge worth taking. Disguising himself as a humble wanderer, he infiltrated the divine realm, outwitting the gods and stealing the sacred flame. His journey back to the human world was fraught with peril, but through his cunning and resourcefulness, Coyote succeeded, forever altering the course of human history. This myth isn't just a thrilling tale of adventure. It's a profound exploration of themes like transformation and the delicate balance between chaos and order. Coyote, as a trickster, embodies the unpredictable forces of nature and life itself. His actions often bring both creation and destruction, reminding us that progress isn't always orderly or neat. By stealing fire, he disrupts the established hierarchy, challenging the gods and empowering humanity. Yet his methods are far from noble. He relies on deception, wit, and a touch of reckless abandon. This duality makes Coyote a fascinating figure, one who blurs the lines between hero and rogue, benefactor and troublemaker. What's particularly compelling about Coyote is how he reflects the human experience. His flaws, his greed, his impulsiveness, his tendency to overreach make him relatable, even as his triumphs inspire awe. In many ways, Coyote's story is a metaphor for the human spirit's relentless drive to overcome obstacles, no matter how insurmountable they seem. And while his actions often lead to unintended consequences, they also pave the way for growth and innovation, much like the fire he delivers to humanity. As we shift our focus from the trickster's chaotic exploits, we turn to a hero of divine lineage, whose story unfolds in a realm of gods and mortals intertwined. This next figure carries the weight of heavenly ancestry, yet their journey is marked by trials that test not just their strength, but their very identity. Stay tuned as we explore the legacy of a hero born of gods, whose path illuminates the bonds between the celestial and the earthly. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most fascinating figures in African folklore, Anansi, the spider trickster. Anansi is more than just a clever character. He's a cultural hero whose stories have been passed down through generations, weaving wisdom, humor, and moral lessons into the fabric of African traditions. One of his most famous tales revolves around his quest to acquire the stories of the world from Niamh, the sky god, who guarded them jealously. Niamh set an impossible challenge. Anansi had to capture 4 fearsome creatures: Asibo the leopard, Mabro the hornet, Anini the python, and Mosha the fairy. Impossible, not for Anansi. Through cunning and creativity, he outsmarted each one, using their own weaknesses against them. For example, he tricked Asibo into falling into a pit, lured Mabro into a gourd, and convinced Anini to stretch out so he could measure him with a vine, only to tie him up. Each victory brought him closer to Niamh's stories, proving that intelligence and resourcefulness can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. What makes Anansi so compelling is not just his cleverness, but the deeper themes his stories explore. At their core, these tales celebrate the power of storytelling itself. By securing the stories from Niamh, Anansi didn't just gain knowledge, he gave humanity the gift of narrative, a way to share wisdom, preserve culture, and connect across generations. His stories remind us that creativity and wit are tools as powerful as strength or wealth, and that sometimes the smallest among us can achieve the greatest things. Anansi's legacy is a testament to the enduring importance of storytelling in shaping who we are and how we understand the world around us. As we reflect on Anansi's journey, we're reminded that the pursuit of wisdom often requires more than brute force. It demands ingenuity and persistence. And speaking of journeys, our next hero's quest takes us into the realm of justice, where one man's unwavering determination to right the wrongs of the world becomes the stuff of legend. Among the pantheon of mythological heroes, few figures embody the spirit of defiance and sacrifice as profoundly as Prometheus, the titan who dared to challenge the gods for the sake of humanity. His story is one of bold rebellion and enduring consequences, a tale that has echoed through the ages as a symbol of enlightenment and the price of progress. Picture this, a world shrouded in darkness and cold, where humanity struggles to survive, devoid of warmth, light, and the spark of innovation. Prometheus, moved by compassion and a belief in the potential of mortals, made a choice that would forever alter the course of history. He stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity, igniting the flames of knowledge, creativity, and civilization. But this act of generosity came at a steep cost. Zeus, the king of the gods, saw Prometheus' defiance as an unforgivable betrayal. In his rage, Zeus devised a punishment as cruel as it was symbolic. Prometheus was bound to a rock where an eagle would feast on his liver each day, only for it to regenerate each night, ensuring an eternity of torment. Yet, even in his suffering, Prometheus remained unbroken, a testament to his unwavering resolve and the power of his ideals. His story is not just one of punishment, but also of resilience and the enduring impact of his gift to humankind. The themes woven into Prometheus' tale are as timeless as they are profound. Sacrifice lies at its heart, the willingness to endure unimaginable suffering for the greater good. Progress, too, is a central theme, as the gift of fire represents the dawn of human ingenuity and the capacity to shape the world. But intertwined with these ideas is the cost of defiance, a reminder that challenging authority, even for noble reasons, often comes with dire consequences. Prometheus' legacy is a complex one, embodying both the light of enlightenment and the shadows of rebellion. As we reflect on Prometheus' journey, it's impossible not to draw parallels to the struggles of those who dare to challenge the status quo, whether in myth or in history. His story raises questions about the nature of progress and the sacrifices required to achieve it. What would the world look like without those who are willing to defy the odds, even at great personal cost? And how do we balance the pursuit of knowledge and freedom with the responsibilities that come with them? With Prometheus' tale still burning bright in our minds, we turn to another hero whose trials were equally shaped by the divine. This time, the challenges are not just physical but deeply personal, testing the very essence of identity and purpose. What awaits us is a journey into the heart of transformation, where the stakes are as high as the heavens themselves. Theseus, the legendary king of Athens, is often celebrated for his heroic feats, but his encounter with the Amazons reveals a darker, more complex side to his story. The Amazons, a fierce tribe of warrior women, were known for their independence and strength, living on the fringes of the known world. When Theseus arrived on their shores, it wasn't as a conqueror but as a guest, or so it seemed. His relationship with their queen, Hippolyta, began with a bond that some versions of the myth describe as romantic, while others suggest it was built on mutual respect. But this fragile alliance shattered when Theseus suddenly abducted Hippolyta, taking her back to Athens. This act wasn't just a personal betrayal, it was a cultural clash that reverberated through the mythic world. The Amazons, fiercely protective of their autonomy, saw Theseus' actions as an unforgivable violation. Their response was swift and brutal. They marched on Athens, besieging the city in an attempt to reclaim their queen. This conflict wasn't just a battle of armies. It was a collision of two worlds, one dominated by patriarchal ideals and the other by matriarchal strength. Theseus, often portrayed as a hero, here becomes a figure of ambiguity. Was his abduction of Hippolyta an act of love, as some myths suggest, or was it a calculated move to assert dominance over a powerful rival? The story forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about power, gender, and the ethics of heroism. The consequences of Theseus' actions were far-reaching. The Amazons' invasion of Athens brought devastation, and the war left scars on both sides. Hippolyta, caught between loyalty to her people and her relationship with Theseus, became a symbol of the tensions between love and duty. For Theseus, this episode marked a turning point in his legacy. While he remained a celebrated figure in Athenian lore, his encounter with the Amazons exposed the flaws in his heroism, his tendency to prioritize personal ambition over collective harmony. This myth serves as a reminder that even the greatest heroes are not immune to moral failings, and their actions can have ripple effects that shape the destiny of nations. As we reflect on Theseus' complicated legacy, it's impossible to ignore the broader themes at play. The story of Theseus and the Amazons isn't just a tale of conflict. It's a meditation on the balance of power, the consequences of cultural misunderstandings, and the price of unchecked ambition. It challenges us to reconsider what it truly means to be a hero. Is heroism defined by strength and conquest, or by wisdom and restraint? Theseus' journey leaves us with more questions than answers, setting the stage for our next hero, a figure who, unlike Theseus, embarks on a quest not for glory, but for redemption. Atalanta, the swift-footed huntress, stands as one of mythology's most inspiring figures, a woman whose speed and skill were matched only by her fierce independence. Born to a father who desired a son, Atalanta was abandoned as an infant but saved by a she-bear and raised by hunters. Her story is one of defiance and determination, a testament to her refusal to conform to the roles society tried to impose on her. One of her most legendary feats was the hunt for the Caledonian boar, a monstrous creature sent by the goddess Artemis to punish a king who had neglected her worship. Atalanta joined a band of Greece's greatest heroes, including Meleager and Jason, and proved herself their equal. With her unmatched speed and precision, she was the first to strike the boar, a moment that cemented her place among the greatest warriors of her time. Yet, even in victory, she faced skepticism and jealousy from her male counterparts, a reminder of the challenges women like her faced in a world that often sought to diminish their achievements. But Atalanta's greatest test came when her father, now recognizing her worth, demanded she marry. Determined to maintain her independence, she declared that any suitor who wished to win her hand must first beat her in a foot race, a seemingly impossible task given her divine gift of speed. Those who failed would face death. Many tried and many fell until one clever suitor, Hippomenes, sought the help of Aphrodite. The goddess gave him 3 golden apples, which he used to distract Atalanta during the race. Each time he threw an apple, she paused to retrieve it, allowing him to cross the finish line first. This tale is often seen as a bittersweet victory, for while Hippomenes won the race, Atalanta's spirit of autonomy and defiance remained unbroken. Her story resonates as a powerful exploration of the tension between personal freedom and societal expectations, a theme that continues to echo through the ages. Atalanta's legacy is one of resilience and courage, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, we can carve out our own path. And speaking of paths, our next hero's journey begins with a divine connection, someone whose very bloodline ties them to the gods themselves. But that's a story for another moment. Bellerophon's story begins with a dream, a vision of greatness that would set him on a path both extraordinary and tragic. Born immortal, Bellerophon was no ordinary man. His destiny intertwined with the divine when he encountered Pegasus, the majestic winged horse born from the blood of Medusa. But taming Pegasus wasn't just a feat of strength or skill, it was a test of character. With the help of Athena's golden bridle, Bellerophon earned the trust of the mythical steed, forging a bond that would carry him to heights no mortal had ever reached. Together, they soared above the earth, a symbol of human ambition touching the divine. Yet, Bellerophon's greatest challenge awaited him on the ground. The Chimera, a monstrous creature with the body of a lion, the head of a goat, and a serpent's tail, terrorized the land of Lycia. Fire-breathing and relentless, the Chimera seemed invincible. But Bellerophon, mounted on Pegasus, faced the beast with courage and cunning. From the skies, he rained down arrows, using Pegasus's agility to outmaneuver the Chimera's deadly flames. In a climactic battle, Bellerophon struck the killing blow, cementing his place as a hero. But victory came at a cost not in blood, but in pride. Bellerophon's triumph over the Chimera marked the peak of his glory, but it also sowed the seeds of his downfall. Emboldened by his success, he began to see himself as more than mortal, daring to ascend to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, on Pegasus's back. This act of hubris, of overreaching ambition, angered Zeus, who sent a gadfly to sting Pegasus. The winged horse bucked, throwing Bellerophon back to earth. Broken and humbled, Bellerophon spent the rest of his days wandering alone, a cautionary tale of the dangers of unchecked pride. His story reminds us that even the greatest achievements have limits, and that humility is the key to enduring success. As we reflect on Bellerophon's rise and fall, we're reminded of the delicate balance between ambition and restraint. His tale is one of soaring highs and devastating lows, a reminder that even the most extraordinary heroes are bound by the laws of fate and their own humanity. And now, as we turn our gaze to the next hero, we'll explore a quest not of glory but of justice, a journey that challenges the very fabric of morality and the price of doing what's right. The story of Oedipus is one of the most haunting tales in all of mythology, a powerful exploration of fate, knowledge, and the human struggle against forces beyond our control. At the heart of his story lies the infamous Sphinx, a monstrous creature with the body of a lion, the wings of a bird, and the face of a woman. She terrorized the city of Thebes, posing a riddle to all who passed by, and killing anyone who failed to answer correctly. The riddle was deceptively simple. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? Many tried and failed until Oedipus, driven by both courage and curiosity, stepped forward. With a sharp mind and unshakable determination, he solved the riddle, declaring the answer to be man. The Sphinx, defeated, threw herself from the cliffs, and Oedipus was hailed as a hero, eventually becoming the king of Thebes. But his triumph was short-lived. Oedipus's life was a tapestry woven with threads of prophecy and tragedy. Long before he faced the Sphinx, an oracle had foretold that he would kill his father and marry his mother. Horrified, Oedipus fled his home, believing he could outrun his destiny. Yet, in a cruel twist of irony, it was this very act of defiance that set the prophecy in motion. On his journey, he unknowingly killed his father, King Laius, in a roadside quarrel. Later, after solving the Sphinx's riddle, he married Queen Jocasta, unaware that she was his mother. For years, Oedipus ruled Thebes justly, but the truth, like a shadow, could not stay hidden forever. When a plague struck the city, Oedipus sought to uncover its cause, only to unravel the terrible truth of his own life. With each revelation, the weight of his actions grew heavier. Jocasta, unable to bear the horror, took her own life, and Oedipus, consumed by guilt and despair, blinded himself with her brooch. He then exiled himself from Thebes, wandering as a broken man, a living symbol of the futility of trying to escape one's fate. His story forces us to confront profound questions. Can we ever truly outrun destiny? Is knowledge a blessing or a curse? And what does it mean to be human in the face of forces we cannot control? Oedipus's tale is a mirror held up to the human condition, reflecting our deepest fears and desires. It reminds us that even the greatest heroes are not immune to the whims of fate, and that the pursuit of truth, no matter how painful, is an essential part of our journey. As we leave Oedipus to his wanderings, we turn to another hero whose trials were no less extraordinary, but whose fate was shaped not by prophecy, but by the will of the gods themselves. Stay with us as we venture into the divine trials of Hercules, a man whose strength and resilience became the stuff of legend. After the fall of Troy, as flames consumed the once great city, one hero emerged with a divine purpose that would shape the fate of an empire. Aeneas, son of the goddess Venus, carried not only the remnants of his homeland, but also the weight of destiny on his shoulders. Guided by the gods and driven by an unshakable sense of duty, he embarked on a journey that would lead to the founding of Rome, a city destined to become the heart of an empire. Aeneas's tale is one of resilience and sacrifice. After escaping the ruins of Troy, he faced countless trials, storms conjured by vengeful gods, the seductive whispers of Queen Dido in Carthage, and the harrowing descent into the underworld to meet his father, Anchises. Each challenge tested his resolve, but Aeneas never wavered. His vision of a new home for his people and the promise of a glorious future propelled him forward. One of the most striking aspects of Aeneas's story is his unwavering commitment to duty. Unlike many mythological heroes who act for personal glory, Aeneas's actions are rooted in service to his people and the will of the gods. This sense of responsibility is what transforms him from a warrior into a nation builder. His journey isn't just about survival, it's about laying the foundation for a civilization that would endure for centuries. The themes of destiny and legacy are central to Aeneas's story. The gods foretold that his descendants would rule a mighty empire, and every step of his journey was a step toward fulfilling that prophecy. His legacy isn't just the city of Rome, but the ideals of perseverance, leadership, and sacrifice that would inspire generations. As we reflect on Aeneas's epic quest, it's impossible not to draw parallels to the human experience. His story reminds us that greatness often requires sacrifice, and that the choices we make ripple through time, shaping the future in ways we may never fully understand. And speaking of choices that shape the future, our next hero's journey takes a different turn toward enlightenment. While Aeneas sought to build an empire, our next figure pursued a deeper understanding of the universe, seeking answers to questions that have puzzled humanity for centuries. His quest is one of introspection and wisdom, a stark contrast to the external battles Aeneas faced. But both heroes, in their own ways, remind us of the power of purpose and the enduring impact of those who dare to dream beyond the horizon. The story of Psyche and Eros is one of myth's most captivating tales of love, perseverance, and transformation. Psyche, a mortal of unparalleled beauty, found herself entangled in a love story with Eros, the god of love himself. But their union was far from simple. Psyche's journey was marked by trials that tested not only her strength, but also her devotion and faith in love. It all began when Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and Eros's mother, grew jealous of Psyche's beauty. To punish her, Aphrodite sent Eros to make Psyche fall in love with a monstrous creature. But instead, Eros accidentally pricked himself with his own arrow and fell deeply in love with Psyche. He kept her in a lavish palace, visiting her only under the cover of darkness, forbidding her to see his face. Yet, driven by curiosity and the whispers of her jealous sisters, Psyche broke the rule, lighting a lamp to gaze upon Eros. Startled, he fled, leaving Psyche to face Aphrodite's wrath. To win back Eros, Psyche was forced to endure a series of seemingly impossible tasks. Her first challenge was to sort an enormous pile of mixed seeds, a task so daunting that even the ants took pity on her and came to her aid. Next, she was sent to retrieve golden wool from fierce, sunbathing sheep, a task she completed by gathering the wool caught in thorny bushes. But perhaps her most perilous trial was venturing into the underworld to retrieve a box of beauty from Persephone herself. Guided by a divine voice, Psyche navigated the realm of the dead, only to succumb to curiosity once more, opening the box and falling into a death-like sleep. Eros, moved by her efforts, rescued her, and their love was finally recognized by the gods. This myth isn't just about the trials Psyche faced. It's a profound exploration of love's transformative power. Psyche's journey symbolizes the sacrifices and struggles that often accompany true love, as well as the personal growth that comes from overcoming adversity. Her story reminds us that love isn't just about passion. It's about perseverance, trust, and the willingness to endure challenges for the sake of something greater. And speaking of challenges, our next hero's story takes us into the realm of divine lineage, where gods and mortals collide in a tale of destiny and power. Stay with us as we uncover the legacy of a hero whose bloodline shaped the very fabric of mythology. Daedalus, the master craftsman, had devised a daring escape for himself and his son, Icarus, from the labyrinth of Crete. With feathers and wax, he fashioned 2 pairs of wings, a marvel of ingenuity and desperation. As they prepared to take flight, Daedalus warned Icarus with grave urgency, "Fly not too close to the sun, nor too low to the sea. The wax will melt, or the feathers will dampen. Keep to the middle path." But Icarus, young and brimming with ambition, felt the pull of the heavens the moment he soared into the sky. The thrill of freedom, the rush of wind against his wings, it was intoxicating. How could he resist? As he climbed higher, the sun's rays grew warmer, more inviting. The world below shrank, and his father's warnings faded with the distance. He wanted to touch the sun, to prove he could conquer even the skies. But the wax softened, the feathers loosened, and in a heartbeat, Icarus plummeted into the sea. His fall became a timeless lesson, the dangers of hubris, the fine line between ambition and recklessness. This myth isn't just a story about a young man's tragic mistake. It's a reflection on human nature, our drive to push boundaries, to test limits, and sometimes to overreach. Daedalus' invention was a triumph of human ingenuity, but it also carried a warning. Innovation without caution can lead to downfall. The tale of Icarus reminds us that even the most brilliant ideas must be tempered with wisdom and restraint. And as we reflect on Icarus' flight, we're reminded that every fall carries a chance for redemption. Just as one hero's journey ends in tragedy, another's begins with the hope of making amends. Let's turn now to a figure who, unlike Icarus, sought to rise not by reaching for the sun, but by facing the depths of his own mistakes. Perseus' story takes a dramatic turn when he encounters Andromeda, a princess chained to a rock as a sacrifice to appease the sea monster Theseus. This moment isn't just a test of Perseus' courage, it's a collision of fate and choice, where heroism and love intertwine in a way that feels almost destined. As Perseus flies over the coastline, fresh from his victory over Medusa, he spots Andromeda, bound and helpless. Her parents, desperate to save their kingdom, had offered her as a sacrifice to the gods. But Perseus, armed with the head of Medusa, sees an opportunity to defy the gods' cruel designs. With the monstrous Theseus rising from the depths, Perseus doesn't hesitate. He swoops down, using the Gorgon's head to turn the creature to stone. It's a moment of triumph, but also one of profound symbolism. Perseus' act isn't just about defeating a monster. It's about challenging the idea that mortals are powerless against fate. By saving Andromeda, he asserts that even in a world ruled by gods and prophecies, human agency and bravery can reshape destiny, but the story doesn't end there. Perseus and Andromeda's union becomes a cornerstone of Greek mythology, symbolizing the power of love to transcend even the most dire circumstances. Their marriage isn't just a happy ending, it's a testament to the idea that love and heroism are deeply connected. Andromeda, once a victim of fate, becomes a partner in Perseus' journey, and together they embody the balance between destiny and free will. This tale also raises intriguing questions about the nature of heroism. Perseus doesn't just rely on brute strength, he uses cunning and the tools at his disposal, like Medusa's head, to outwit his enemies. It's a reminder that true heroism often requires wit as much as courage. And while his actions are driven by love, they also reflect a deeper sense of justice, a desire to protect the innocent and challenge the status quo. As we move forward, the next hero's story will take us into even more divine trials, where the stakes are higher and the challenges even more otherworldly. But for now, Perseus and Andromeda's tale stands as a shining example of how love and bravery can rewrite the fates, proving that even in the face of gods and monsters, humanity has the power to forge its own path. The wedding of Perseus, king of the Lapiths, was meant to be a joyous celebration of unity and love, a moment of harmony among friends and allies. But when the centaurs, half-human, half-horse creatures, were invited to the feast, chaos erupted. Fueled by wine and wild instincts, the centaurs broke the sacred rules of hospitality, attempting to abduct the bride and other women. This wasn't just a breach of decorum, it was a clash between two worlds: civilization and savagery, order and chaos. Enter Theseus, the Athenian hero, who stood beside Perseus to defend the sanctity of the wedding and the dignity of their people. What followed was a brutal and bloody battle, a fight that would leave both sides scarred and the myth forever etched in the annals of Greek mythology. Theseus, known for his cunning and strength, fought valiantly against the centaurs, embodying the ideals of heroism and justice. But this wasn't just a physical struggle, it was a symbolic one. The centaurs represented untamed nature, raw and unrestrained, while Theseus stood as a champion of human order and rationality. Yet, even as he struck down his foes, the battle raised troubling questions. Was this violence justified? Where does heroism end and recklessness begin? Theseus' victory came at a cost, leaving a stain on his legacy and forcing us to grapple with the darker side of heroism. The clash at Perseus' wedding serves as a powerful reminder that even the greatest heroes are not without flaws, and their actions often carry unintended consequences. As the dust settled and the centaurs were driven back, the myth leaves us with a lingering question. How do we reconcile the need for order with the inevitability of conflict? Theseus' story doesn't offer easy answers, but it invites us to reflect on the complexities of heroism and the fragile balance between civilization and chaos. And as we ponder these themes, we turn to another hero whose quest for justice takes a different path, a journey not of brute strength, but of wisdom and perseverance. Cadmus, a figure of both cunning and courage, stands as one of mythology's most fascinating founders. His tale begins with a quest to find his sister Europa, who had been abducted by Zeus. But when his search proved fruitless, an oracle delivered a prophecy that would change his destiny forever. He was told to follow a sacred cow and build a city where it lay down to rest. True to the oracle's words, Cadmus followed the cow to a fertile plain, where he decided to establish what would become the legendary city of Thebes. But this was no ordinary act of founding. It was a journey steeped in trials, divine intervention, and the raw forces of creation. Before he could build his city, Cadmus faced a formidable challenge. A fierce dragon, sacred to the god Ares, guarded the nearby spring. In a clash of strength and wit, Cadmus slew the beast, an act that would have profound consequences. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, advised him to sow the dragon's teeth into the earth. From these teeth sprang the Spartoi, a race of fierce, fully armed warriors. But these warriors were not allies. They turned on one another in a chaotic battle, leaving only 5 survivors. These 5 became the ancestors of Thebes' noble families, symbolizing both the birth of civilization and the inevitability of conflict. The story of Cadmus is rich with themes that resonate deeply. It's a tale of creation emerging from destruction, of order rising from chaos. The dragon's teeth, sown into the soil, represent the seeds of human endeavor, fertile yet unpredictable, capable of both growth and strife. The Spartoi, born from the earth, embody the dual nature of humanity, the potential for unity and the ever-present threat of division. Cadmus himself becomes a bridge between the divine and the mortal, a man who navigates the whims of the gods to shape the foundations of a new world. As we reflect on Cadmus' journey, it's hard not to see parallels in our own lives. How often do we face seemingly insurmountable challenges, only to find that they lead us to something greater? Cadmus' story reminds us that creation is rarely peaceful. It's born from struggle, sacrifice, and the courage to confront the unknown. And just as Cadmus' city of Thebes rose from the chaos of the Spartoi, so too can we build something enduring from the trials we face. But Cadmus' legacy doesn't end with Thebes. His story sets the stage for another hero, one whose divine lineage and extraordinary feats would leave an indelible mark on mythology. This next figure, born of both mortal and immortal blood, carries the weight of destiny in every step, a reminder that the threads of myth are woven tightly, each hero's tale intertwined with the next. The story of Romulus and Remus is one of the most iconic tales in mythology, a saga that intertwines destiny, ambition, and the birth of an empire. Born to Sylvia, a Vestal virgin, and the god Mars, the twins were seen as a threat by their uncle Amulius, who feared they would one day challenge his rule. To eliminate the danger, he ordered the infants to be abandoned on the banks of the Tiber River, but fate had other plans. A she-wolf discovered the crying twins and, instead of harming them, nurtured them as her own. This image of the she-wolf suckling the brothers has become one of the most enduring symbols of Rome itself, representing resilience and the unexpected ways life can take root even in the harshest conditions. As the boys grew, they were raised by a shepherd named Faustulus and his wife, Laurentia. Despite their humble upbringing, the twins carried within them the seeds of greatness. They were natural leaders, strong and bold, but their shared destiny would soon give way to a bitter rivalry. When they learned of their true heritage, they decided to found a city near the spot where the she-wolf had saved them. However, their visions for the city clashed. Romulus wanted to build on the Palatine Hill, while Remus preferred the Aventine Hill. This disagreement escalated into a fierce competition, with each brother claiming divine favor as justification for their choice. The tension between the twins reached its breaking point when Remus mocked Romulus' efforts, leaping over the newly built walls of the city in a show of defiance. In a fit of rage, Romulus struck down his brother, becoming the sole founder of Rome. This act of fratricide casts a shadow over the city's origins, raising questions about the cost of ambition and the fragility of brotherhood. Yet, it also underscores the relentless drive to establish order and power, themes that would define Rome's legacy as a dominant force in the ancient world. The tale of Romulus and Remus is more than just a founding myth. It's a reflection of the human condition. Their story explores the tension between unity and division, the sacrifices demanded by ambition, and the complex interplay of fate and free will. It's a reminder that even the greatest civilizations are born from struggle, often marked by both triumph and tragedy. As we reflect on the legacy of Romulus, the founder of Rome, we turn our attention to another hero whose journey was not about building empires but seeking enlightenment, a quest that takes us to the heart of wisdom itself. The stories of these 40 mythological heroes have echoed through the ages, transcending time and culture to leave an indelible mark on the world. Their quests, filled with trials, triumphs, and profound lessons, have become more than just ancient tales. They've become timeless blueprints for the human experience. From the courage of Hercules to the wisdom of Odysseus, these heroes have shaped not only the myths of their own eras, but also the art, literature, and media of today. Their legacies are everywhere, from the pages of epic novels to the frames of blockbuster films, reminding us that the struggles and aspirations of these ancient figures mirror our own. Take, for instance, the theme of sacrifice. In countless myths, heroes like Iphigenia or Sigurd willingly give up something precious, whether it's their safety, their desires, or even their lives, to achieve a greater good. This idea resonates deeply in modern storytelling, where characters like Frodo Baggins or Katniss Everdeen carry the same weight of responsibility and selflessness. These themes are universal because they speak to something fundamental within us, the capacity to rise above our limitations, to fight for what matters, and to leave a legacy that outlasts our own lives. The hero's journey, as seen in these myths, has become a cornerstone of narrative structure. Writers, filmmakers, and artists continue to draw from these archetypes, crafting stories that feel both familiar and fresh. Think about how often we see a reluctant hero, a mentor figure, or a seemingly insurmountable challenge in today's media. These elements aren't just tropes, they're threads connecting us to the ancient past, reminding us that the human spirit has always sought meaning through struggle and transformation. But it's not just about storytelling. The lessons of these heroes' perseverance in the face of adversity, the importance of humility, and the power of redemption still guide us today. Whether it's overcoming personal challenges or striving for something greater, their stories remind us that heroism isn't about perfection. It's about resilience, growth, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. As we near the end of this journey through myth and legend, it's worth reflecting on how these ancient tales continue to shape our world. They're not just relics of the past, they're living, breathing narratives that inspire us to dream bigger, fight harder, and believe in the power of our own potential. And as we prepare to wrap up, let's take a moment to consider what these heroes have taught us, not just about their worlds, but about our own. What does it mean to be a hero in today's world? How can we carry their lessons forward in our own lives? The answers might just surprise you. As we come to the end of our journey through the world of mythological heroes and their epic quests, it's impossible not to be struck by the sheer diversity and richness of these timeless tales. From the cunning of Odysseus navigating the wrath of the gods to the unyielding bravery of Beowulf facing monstrous foes, each hero brings a unique story that transcends culture, time, and geography. These myths remind us that heroism isn't just about strength or victory. It's about the courage to face the unknown, the resilience to endure hardship, and the relentless pursuit of something greater than oneself. What makes these stories so enduring is not just their grandeur, but the universal truths they reveal about the human spirit. Whether it's Hercules' perseverance through his 12 labors or Mulan's defiance of societal norms to protect her family, these heroes teach us that greatness often lies in the choices we make when faced with adversity. Their journeys are more than mere legends. They're mirrors reflecting our own struggles, aspirations, and potential for growth. As we reflect on these tales, let's take a moment to consider what they mean for us today. What lessons can we draw from their courage? How can their resilience inspire us in our own lives? Mythology isn't just a collection of ancient stories. It's a wellspring of wisdom waiting to be explored and applied to the challenges we face now. To close, I'll leave you with a thought from Joseph Campbell, who once said, "The hero's journey is a pattern that exists in all of us." These myths aren't just about the heroes of old, they're about the hero within each of us waiting to rise. So, who's your favorite mythological hero? Share their story in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and why they inspire you. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into mythology, don't forget to subscribe and join me as we continue to uncover the timeless tales that shape our world. Until next time, may your own journey be as epic as the heroes we've celebrated today.